Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praises to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray that the Most High blesses this lesson this afternoon, gives us more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand the events that are currently happening on the earth, so we get a much better understanding of things that are soon to come on the earth. As I look into the news and you listen, they're doing interviews of people and even people around us, I'm sure we keep on hearing about how many of them are crying for things to return back to normal. They're just holding out hope that this world will go back to the way it was before coronavirus. But I think many of them do not understand what they're asking for. See, many of these people have gone to church, have their Bibles, and have absolutely no understanding what they're asking for. They're asking for the Most High to bring everything back to the way it was before, when they had no understanding. All they had was good times Jesus, and all they were just worried about the next thing to entertain them. They're worried about the next basketball game, next football season, next baseball season, next softball tournament for their daughters, next little baseball tournament for their sons, making money, investing here, investing there, finding out how they can make more money for themselves so they can die with the most toys. When you're asking for having things return back to normal, that's what they want. But see, they didn't understand that those dainties of life came with an expiration date. See, good times Jesus made them think that it was going to be like this forever. They were going to have all those great things forever, and that they would never have an expiration date and then have to pay for the things that they had enjoyed. Just like, what was that? Pinocchio, when they had all the little kids and they were all having a great old time before they were all turned into donkeys. That's the same thing here. The vast majority of the world has been lied to, and people now are realizing that things are changing, but they don't realize that many of the great things that they had come with a price. Now, we're going to get into just a couple of scriptures, because this is what happens when the churches, who are now closed down, they're all closed down now, having the ones that come up with the doctrine and don't teach you the truth. I'm going to show you with nothing but scriptures from the Bible. Since we have some people that love to only think we can only use the 80 books, there's plenty of information even in just the 80 books. I'm only going to go with maybe 3 books and show you that what you're asking for, as far as going back to normal, that's never going to happen again. You guys, different dates going on. You got us being, from 1491 or 1492 all the way till now. Our people have been going through miserable punishment. 1619 to 2019, 400 years also. You got these overlapping events for the Hebrew people and our destruction. But now it's all coming to head where the Most High is now getting ready to restore his people. But let's get into, a couple of scriptures here real quick. First one I want to go to is Isaiah 51, chapter 20. It's going to require a little bit of work from some of you guys, pull out them Bibles, follow along. Let's go. Let me go here real quick. Isaiah 51 and 20. Now, what you guys understand is this. When you're saying you want to go back to normal, what you really are saying is that you want the Israelites to be at the bottom. You want the Israelites to shut up, don't say anything, and enjoy this ass whooping that we've been getting at the bottom, and just continue with that forever. When you're and that's what's happening right now. When all these people are crying for things to return back to normal, that's exactly what they're asking for. And the Most High is not going to he's not going to fulfill those prayers. So just like the Pope is praying for all these, for this COVID-19 to go away and for everything to just return back to normal with him on top, not going to happen. No matter, and actually, as you can see, as he's praying, he's asking for the Most High, or he's asking for his God to return things to normal. Things are getting nothing but worse every single day. So now let's read a little bit of this. I'm going to show you right now how that was never the plan. The plan was never for the Gentiles and even people in our own nation who have made a covenant with the Gentiles for them to be able to enjoy the spoils of our lands and our people forever. It was only for a short amount of time. So I'm going to show you how the Most High never had that plan right here. Isaiah 51, 20 and 23. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets, as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Most High, the rebuke of thy power. All right, let's continue. Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. So we've been given the curse. We were cursed, a cursed people for a certain amount of time, and we had to drink from a certain cup. You Gentiles and other people who have aligned yourselves to Gentiles have not had any other drink of the dregs yet from that cup. So that's why right now in your spirit, you're yearning to drink that clarified wine once again. You're yearning to drink that clarified wine, and keep us drinking the dregs and keeping us at the bottom. But that was never, ever the plan. Let's continue. Okay. Thus saith the Most High, okay, our power, and thy God that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again. So the Most High is taking that curse away from us. And who do you think he's about to give it to? He'll tell you right now. But see, you guys keep saying you want things to return back to normal. You're like before, it was like, oh, well, Trump said that he was going to open up the government, open up everything by Easter. And now he's saying, now he's going to try to do that by April 30th. All they're going to do is keep moving it and moving it and moving it because they already know that their run is done and that us continuing to drink of the dregs of the cup are now over. It's just that they haven't told you guys that yet. That's the problem. See, they're tightening the noose little by little on the people. So they don't really, it's just like a frog in a pan of water, on the stove. He'll just sit there as the water gets hotter and hotter and not jump out of the pan. Same thing is going on right now. As they take more and more of the liberties away, more and more of the great things that Americans and as well as other people all over the world have enjoyed away, they'll just sit there and take it like, oh, this isn't so bad, until it's too late. And that's exactly what's going on right now. So let's continue now with 20. Let's read 22 again. Thus saith the Most High. I'm just going to read what's here. Thus saith thy Lord, the Lord, and thy God, that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again. So he's taking those, those dregs, all those horrible things we've had to, go through and had to suffer through. He's taken all that away. And now what's he going to do with that? 23. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street, to them that went over. So the people that have afflicted the Most High's chosen people are the ones that are now going to be drinking from that cup. See, it's very simple. That's why as these plagues continue to roll around and go around all over the world, they're going to afflict the people that have afflicted us, as well as whoever is the Most High wants to give these plagues to. Again, it's the third set of the plagues of Egypt. And as we know, tomorrow evening, we're going to be observing Passover. I think it's going to be starting to be a really important time for our people, these feast days that are coming up. So it's starting to make a whole lot of sense as to what is going on right now. Now we're going to skip on over here to Revelation 11. Let's read this real quick. You're going to see how the whole world has been having a beautiful time, a bang up time, just enjoying life. And now that, things are changing rather abruptly, they yearn to go back to those times. Revelation 11, we'll start at 7 through 10. And when they had finished their testimony, talking about the 12 tribes, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them, and kill them. That has already happened. That happened in 1492, happened in 1619, how they have afflicted our people and taken the spoils of war. Okay, and let's go to 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also the Lord was crucified. So our power gave us over to them, and we had been absolutely destroyed by these people for hundreds and hundreds of years. Now, look at number 9. And they of the people and kindred and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. So what do they do in 10? Let's check it out. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these 2 prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. So the whole world was sending gifts, making merry, having a party, having a great time, while the Most High's 12 tribes of his people were at the bottom in a dead state, not understanding anything, not knowing where our power is. And it wasn't happening on accident. They were all confederate in keeping us in that dead state. So, like I said, now that the Most High has come to pretty much get rid of all their great time and everything else, now they're yearning to return back to that. They're yearning to return back to all the games, all their sports. That was a lot, all of their activities that they love to do. You see how this all is working out. It's all starting to make much more sense. Once I put a real quick pause on all that, and now people are just yearning for that. You're sitting there listening to a lot of these sports talk people and these other channels that work on just pretty much nothing but sports, and they're just racking their heads because they've lost their God. There's nothing for them to talk about. All they're doing is talking about the old times, reminiscing about Michael Jordan and how great he was and his trash talking days, or Kobe Bryant and the things that he did with Shaq. I heard one today was pretty funny. They were making up these fantasy teams and talking about how they would do against one another and things of that, that sort. They have nothing. So that's why all they do is reminisce on the good old days. And it yearn for that to begin once again. But see, and all this, these will be people who profess to be Christians, profess to be Bible believing Christians. But see, they're happy as long as they can be on top, and they can keep our people on the bottom. And they would definitely keep our people on the bottom forever if they could, in order to keep their dreams alive. So now that we've gotten a chance to kind of see what's going on, getting a chance to kind of see how these people think, it starts to then make much more sense as to why things are happening the way they are. Let's read this last little group of verses here from Revelation 18. We'll start at chapter 10. Revelation 18 and 10. Now it starts to make more sense, because these people have done nothing. All the stuff that they've enjoyed has been at our expense. And now that the Most High is not allowing them to use us anymore like that, Now they're losing it. They don't have their pastors to sit here and give them feel good lessons anymore. You see how that works? They don't have, see, before I read this Revelation 18, everything has been about making them comfortable, making the other nations be able to just discard and just ignore the Most High's chosen people. You also have, they set up a group of Catholic Hebrews who pretty much only stick with the scriptures that they have approved, the 80 books that they've approved, or the 66 books, and they just stick there. But then they go off on these extreme tangents, and then that makes it so that the other nations can just ignore them. If they're just cussing and yelling and not really on the corners and everything else, and just oversimplifying things and just acting crazy sometimes, then it's easy then for the Gentiles to be able to say, "Oh, look at those crazy people. We don't need to, explain anything to them. They're nothing but just a bunch of crazy people, who just they're just being racist and this, and that." So therefore, these Gentiles are then allowed to continue in their blind existence. You see how that works? Not until the Most High brought us the second stick did things begin to accelerate. Once you started bringing that information about where we really came from, where our homelands are, have things begin to accelerate. Once we started to pray together at a specific time, things have begun to accelerate. So long as they could set up a group that was just, kind of really militant and crazy, they were able to just to continue on with their lives. Continue on until the Most High said, no more. And now that the Most High said, no more, now you start to hear the cries. Many of these people have just, like I said, they made God, they made sports their God. Many of them made business their God. Many have made making money their God. And now when they really can't do that, now they have nothing. And all they can do is just pretty much just yearn for the good old days. And that's exactly, and they expect those good old days to come back. But let you see here about those good old days. So the Most High's already started to shut stuff down. Let's continue to read what else he's planning on doing. Revelation 18, verse 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. So all these people who've been making all this money off of our lands, our people, they're about to have that all cut off. That's never going to happen again. And they're going to be looking afar off, crying, because they know that their sugar daddy, our lands and our people, have been cut off from them. And that now their opportunities to make money with their businesses, make money with the sports, make money off of our people, has all come to naught, and it's all over. So let me continue reading. 12. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and fine linen, and purple and silk, and scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. So you get your slaves from over here. You got many of them from over here too. You see that? All that's all coming to an end. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. See, when you came over here, you got exposed to all these different fruits and all these different foods and things like that your soul has been wanting. See that? Now the Most High has taken all that away. Okay? The fruits that I lusted after. Okay? All that stuff is the stuff that was over here that the three parts they never had access to. They didn't have access to it until the Most High let them come to the fourth part. So once they got here, they got a chance to actually get our delectable fruits over here, things that they had been lusting for when they were stuck on the three parts. 15. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off, okay, for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city which was clothed in fine linen, and purple, and scarlet, and decked with gold, and precious stones, and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster, and all the company in ships, and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. Now see, the three parts, they can trade with each other because, they got access to be able to trade with each other. These people with ships needed those ships to come over here to the Most High's chosen lands in order to rape, rob, and murder and make all their money. And the Most High is saying, you people with these ships that have been coming over here to the Most High's chosen lands, those times of getting, those kinds of benefits are done. So now when you hear all these people talking about, I want things to go back to normal, you mean normal as far as the Most High has chosen people at the bottom, where you can just ignore them and you can steal all their resources off their land? That's the normal that you're talking about, because that's what made this entire world go. And the Most High is letting you know now, that's over, and that's a wrap. So all you people who keep on talking about, I want things to go back to normal, you're showing where your spirit lies. You're showing that you are, a spirit of this world and not one of the Most High. And as you can hear, the vast majority of the people that are around us, that's exactly what they are. Empty vessels that want nothing but pleasure and can't think about anything else but putting the Most High's chosen people back at the bottom and stealing and raping, robbing, and murdering for the things that they want and defiling the Most High's land. But in Joel 2, the Most High already told you that the Most High, wants his land back and his people back. And I'm sure that's exactly what he intends to do. So make sure that you really examine yourself when you sit there and say, I want things to go back to normal. You want things to go back to normal for yourselves, but you don't want things to go back to normal for the Most High's chosen people. We were not made to be at the bottom forever. Just like you were not made to be at the top forever. That's why the Most High said the first will be last and the last will be first, because he's coming back to make everything right and the way that he intended it in the first place. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.